New tea. All right. Good night, everyone. Welcome to another Sports Frenzy Sunday NBA podcast. As always, on a Sunday, I am your host, Kims, and with me, obviously, I have my former teacher right here, Devin. How you doing, boss?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, you know?
All right. So I have a proclamation to make. I have a new team in the building. I have a new, I have a new team in the
Yo,
building. I
what
told
is
myself,
this?
no, I told myself that hey, if Christmas come, no KD, no Kyrie, um, James Harden, who is not a James Harden anymore, and a bunch of scrubs. If Lakers cannot beat that side, I tell myself, say, I am jumping off the Lakers bandwagon. And today, I'm here to say that my new team, this is where I live. So you live in New York, and you bring Jets, Knicks, everybody.
Yeah,
I
fair
live
enough.
in. So my new team now will be the Miami Heat. I'll always be a LeBron supporter. I'll always be raving for LeBron and jumping up for LeBron. But you will never hear me talking about the Lakers on a whole again. I've I've released all emotions from the Lakers. They have disappointed me too much. They have now lost 5 games in a row, and it's just an absolute joke right now. But we have to start with the big man or the little man. However you want to see it, you can mention it that way. Producer, drop that one for me, please, producer. All right. So, check me out, Devin, right? So, when this guy came back, and he came back with this quote, right? He said, I'm back, MFers, right? Yes, Fresh God. Fresh God, you can laugh all you want in a Fresh God. Albert Williams, this is not the first time they lost 5 in a row. Absolutely agreed, Albert. It is not the first time, but this is the first time LeBron has been playing so well and they still look so bad. They lost by 28 against the Spurs. Shanila Ellis, so on brand. Jump ship with United now this. Shanila, let me explain something to you, my dear friend. Right? One thing with me, with more information, I'll always be able to change my opinion or change whatever it is. So I have more information on the Lakers that the Lakers is not a good team, and I refuse to go down with the sinking ship. So I'm jumping ship to the Miami Heat. I was a Miami Heat fan once upon a time when LeBron was there. So I'm just returning. I went on loan, so I'm now returning to the Miami Heat. So let's go Heat. So let's talk about this now, Devin.
Hmm.
This guy Jamorant, right? And I know Demo is enjoying his vacation. Hope he's having fun. Because I know he's not going to show up tonight. But he said that he's back, right? And then obviously they have lost now 3 games in a row. They lost against the Oklahoma City Thunder team that beat Memphis beat by 73 points without Jamorant. And now Jamorant come back and I think they lost by 3 points. So can you, Devin, be very objective and agree with me that I was right all along about Jamorant?
Boy, something is going on there when he's in the team, you know what I mean? Because they should lose to Oklahoma. And then, when one of the good teams that they got a victory over was Golden State when he was there. I think he was there when they beat them first. They come back now with the 0-2. And it's like even the fans not even enjoying it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The fans don't like the way it's going down, and
Yep.
he's kind of feeling some type of way. But trust me, there's something going on, and we went. I went through the numbers the last time, and Demo was saying, "Oh, stats, whatever." But I take a hard look at it, and I look at the numbers to say, you know what? One of the stats that I found that was most amazing is like they're saying players they get better quality shots when he's not there. That's just the stats that I find really stood out for me, Kims. Not even the defensive or it's like the players get better shots. So
Uh,
with him being in the team now, what does he suggest now? The ball not moving more, what he's taking up too much of the ball, What is it?
Uh-huh.
What is it? So now as a top player now, you have to come in and just adjust the system. The coach have to help you do that, but you have to adjust to see, get the teammates involved some more. Probably try have the ball less. I don't know. I don't know, but something is going on there
All
when he's
right.
not team.
All right. What? All right. So this is my suggestion, and let me read this. Miguel say, "Can't believe the man jumped from United TPC." Boy, Miguel. At first I see your name popping up, so I don't really know who is this. But what I can say to you, Miguel, is that I am in the business of wins and losses. I am a winner, and anything that is not good for my mental health, I'll remove myself from it. And Manchester United at the time wasn't good for my mental health. I think the fans are very disingenuous. All that Ole had done for Manchester United, they still wanted him out. And for the Lakers, I think the Lakers need a coach. I think the Lakers need a team. I think the Lakers need to learn how to play defense. LeBron has been averaging a lot, and we're going to talk about that later. And they're still struggling. It pains my heart to see LeBron in his 19th season, a couple days away from his 37th birthday, and still have to be carrying grown men. So, I'm switching to the Miami Heat, the Jimmy Butlers of the world, the Eric Spoelstras of the world, and go ahead and celebrate that. So this is my thing, Devin, about Ja Morant.
Hmm.
I believe that he should come off the bench. Cause no, I'm not even joking. Cause like I'm looking at the team, and
Yeah.
again, and I remember Devin, you came forward and you released the numbers, right? You released the numbers and you were like, hey, these are the numbers. The PER on the offense, the PER on the defense, the team
Mm-hmm.
moving the ball, everything is going well. I think they had won 10 of their last 11, and they were
Yeah.
just rolling. As soon as Jamaran come back, 3-game losing streak. So now that tell me that he tried to put himself in the offense, and obviously, people say he's selfless, but I think he is selfish, right? Because he puts himself in the offense, and then he's like, "Hey guys, look at me! I want to be the center of attention. I was missing for so long. You see what I'm could say? I'm back, MFers. Him couldn't say, boy, I'm glad to be back for my teammates, and my teammates have been doing well. I just want to fit in. No, he wants everything to be about him. He wants to be the center of attention. He wants everybody to talk about him. So since that is why the fans are fed up and say, hey, go back out because the team was playing so much better without you. And as soon as you come back, it's bad basketball, turnover basketball, and just the basketball don't look attractive at all. So
Right.
I'm sorry. And here's Albert Williams. They were happy Morant was away. Absolutely, Albert. I was happy. The Memphis, if Memphis fans were happy, I think only Demon was the only person who was sad that he was away. Everybody else, I'm sure even the teammates were happy because they were finally able to move the basketball how they wanted to move it, to play to a particular identity. When Jamoran came back, I didn't see any identity, in that team. So it's really unfortunate because he is a decent player. But if in order for Memphis to taste some success, even some postseason success, Jamorant either has to come off the bench or has to be traded. You know. All right. So now, we touched on LeBron a few moments ago, and now we're going to get into it. So LeBron last 5 games. Remember, this man is in his 19th NBA season, right? This man has the amount of mileage on his body, and still he's putting up 31 points per game, 9.8 rebounds a game, 5.2 assists, and the only reason why his assist numbers is down is because Lakers can't make a blasted shot because he's giving people wide open shots and they're getting paid millions of dollars in the NBA just to make said shots and can't make the shots. IQ Sports. Sorry, I wasn't here to teach and beat Demo about this. God no, Robbie Rich. Absolutely, Robbie Rich. I understand how it goes. This usually happens when the stars of some teams go out due to injury. Other players step up. Yes, yes, Albert, and that is the thing. Other players. It's not like the other players step up. Is that they finally have the ability, the opportunity to go out there and showcase their talent. Jamorant is so greedy; he takes away from his teammates. He doesn't enable his teammates. He take away from them. All right, so we're talking about LeBron now. So this man keep that same form flickers. So this man has been shooting 56% from the field. Like this is just absolutely amazing. And Devin, I know you're a Lakers fan and not necessarily a LeBron fan, but even you can appreciate this greatness
Oh,
from the king, from the greatest player of all time.
yeah, well,
But
I don't the
even
greatest.
in this, Devin, they are 0-5 with all his heroics. What can your Lakers do? Because I'm not a Miami Heat fan. What can your Lakers do, Devin, in order to turn this around?
But I don't see anything possible right now because I don't know what trade they can do. Like the the roster was from day one was a you know bad roster with a bunch of old men. And
Mm-hmm.
the only bright spark that I would like was two players I like that they signed was Kendrick Nunn. I didn't see he hasn't played so far because of
Yeah, he's
injury,
still hurt.
and Malik Monk.
Yeah,
I
I
like
like
Monk.
Malik.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's and I see LeBron trying to make a defense for Westbrook, saying he's still boxing because he's playing horrible, but everybody's playing bad. I guess he has to back everybody else on the team, not just Russ. I guess because Russ is just a standout name, but Miller started well. Miller not playing good. Miller missing
Mm,
some shots. But some game Miller not playing good either.
mm,
They bring back Avery Bradley, not getting much more time. Kems. It's like
mm-hmm.
I see LeBron like in that game
Mm-hmm.
against Nets. The man wheeled the team. They went on a 17-0 run, and
Mm-hmm.
he was just too much for him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Other people they're not making the right
Yeah,
play.
here is Rush Cadillac saying Golden Age home start pop down. And I agree with him.
I
There's
agree.
too there were too many old players, and Albert saying the roster is bad, too many old players, and the sharpshooters not living up to their hype. Absolutely. Wayne Ellington came and he was shooting 40% from three.
Mhm.
Absolutely not living up to that. Um, Mr. Trevor Ariza come back one game, injure again.
Uh-huh.
Carmelo up and down. Carmelo mostly play well at Staples. So
Right.
looking at this right now, it seems like is LeBron our bust. And LeBron in his press conference said that he is not a patient guy because I don't know if you remember that year in Cleveland when they had Derrick Rose, D Wade, Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, all them. And by the trade room open up, all of these players were gone. D Wade was back in Miami. Isaiah went to the Lakers. Jay Crowder went to Utah, and everybody was and they rebuilt a whole different roster. Obviously, and they went to the finals and eventually lost. But I believe that has to happen. Obviously, that the soft tissue is out right now. So, we can't blame him. But, he's out, thank God, because, instead of losing by 10, would have probably lose by 50. So, thank God the soft tissue is out. But, I think that, so we signed two players on 10 day. I
Yeah.
don't know if you saw them.
Yeah.
Stanley
Yeah.
Johnson. Oh, first, let's talk about Isaiah, right? So they say they're not signing Isaiah to another 10 day. Do you agree with this?
Yeah. I have no big deal about that. Yeah.
I didn't think that he impressed enough.
Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't think, one of the games, both him and Taylor Tucker shot
Yeah.
2 for 24 from the field.
Yeah. I
Two for
saw.
24. So Taylor Tucker make one, him make one, and that was it. And then Beer
But,
miss after that.
well, yeah. When you're on 10-day contract, Kems, it's like you have to ball. You know what I mean? You have to shine in order for them to resign you.
But
Remember? Yeah.
Devin, I understand what you're saying, but look at it. Remember, he was for 2 years he was
Oh,
crying. I can help a team. Give me a chance. I just need a chance. I don't know if you think that the NBA was the G League, but he was saying, I just need an opportunity. And he finally got his opportunity and touched it.
yeah. Yeah. That's. And then he was in shape because he was in the G League. So
Yeah.
he's just
It's
not
just
there anymore for him.
not good enough. Yes, Levon.
But Kim's
Yeah.
at the end of the article, it actually said that some teams are actually interested in signing him.
Yeah, but all right. I believe, Levon, I
Hmm?
believe that is just media. That is just media hype. I believe it is media hype. I really don't believe that any serious team out there want to sign Isaiah Thomas. I don't see it. Probably the Nets will go ahead and sign him, due to the fact that, hey, um, due to the fact that, hey, they probably need a point guard and this little hardship thing. But producer, can you just put up the two new players that yes. Devin, they signed Darren Collison. I don't know
Collison,
if you
yeah.
remember him. He was playing for
Yeah, I
the
mean, it was in
Pacers.
Pacers, Indiana, yeah.
Yes, yes, and he retired in 2019.
Mm.
I know he's back. And Stanley Johnson, he had played for Detroit. And last night, even though James Harden was giving him the buckets, he was good energizer bunny, and he was actually playing some good defense and hitting some key shots as well. These two players, I would like to see them. I would like to see them some more. What I would do, I would probably keep these two players and try and see if I can move Westbrook. You know, and IQ Sports is saying for the first time, I think Lakers need Ben. His defensive and playmaking is needed right now. IQ Sports, I couldn't agree more. Um, I think Ben is needed, but not for soft tissue. Because I don't think Grant, Turner, and Ben in for the Lakers. Yes, I would like those three. I don't know how the Lakers could make it happen, but I would like. I'm not sure how much Miles Turner is making, but I know Jeremy Grant. I know he got the bag. So I think Detroit would have take Westbrook, and then they would release him after that, make him a free agent, can sign with any team. I think they would buy him out because I don't think Detroit. I think Detroit wants to rebuild, but I don't think they necessarily want a superstar. Just like what they did with Blake Griffin and all them guys. So I think we can get a Jeremy Grant. I think we can get a Miles Turner and a Ben Simmons. And I believe that Lakers could challenge for a title because those guys are young, those guys are athletic, those guys are energetic. Right now, as Rash Kellogg say, we're running a golden age home. Albert Williams saying trade soft tissue. I'm not calling that guy's name Albert until he starts playing like how he's supposed to be playing. The numbers that Lebron is putting up, that is what soft tissue should be putting up. But no, he's out again for 4 weeks. And then Albert Williams said, it is so easy to fall from grace. The man was the gem at one point, and the moment he got traded, that was it for him. He suddenly became short. I think he's talking about Isaiah. Yeah, I think he's talking about Isaiah. I remember when he was in Boston, everything was going well for him, and then, his sister had died, unfortunately, and then, he was just never. Then he got hurt, and then he was just never the same after that. All right, producer, put up the. All right. We have talked about Zion tirelessly on this show. And when I saw this, I was like, because I remember when Embiid, because for those who don't know, for full disclosure, Embiid went to the University of Kansas, right? So when Joel came out of, when he was drafted, obviously he was hurt, right? And, they were talking about the process and all of that, right? So Zion has missed 85 games, right? No, there's no. They say that he has played 85 games in his first 3 seasons.
Hmm?
Wow. And
And Zion no play
wow.
that game, man.
Huh?
Zion play
Hold
that
on.
much game?
They say 85 games. Amount of games Zion Williamson has played in his first 3 seasons. 31 games. Amount of games Joel Embiid has played in his first 3 seasons. Really? Is it that? I'm thinking it should have been upside down. Yeah, I think it should have been 31 games for Zion and 85 Embiid. I'm not really sure. But what I really want to talk about here is Zion, because obviously, last season, we said that last season we said that coming into this season, Zion, he's going to come back from injury, and then at the starting of training camp, bam, got hurt, got a setback. Last week I heard he was supposed to come back this week, bam, another setback. Now he's out for 3 to 4 weeks, and now I'm looking and I'm saying, if you are the Pelicans, do you try to build around this guy, or you try to say, well, probably we have to try and have a success plan in for Zion because we don't think that he is the guy. What would you say, Devin?
Honestly, great talent, but if I'm trying to build, I have a franchise play. I'm looking in terms of health and how much I can have him on the court. And I just check it up. He actually has played 85 games, and they compare to say what you call Embiid play that, but we have seen whereby he's not showing any form of commitment to his physical health. Because some of it still is with him. Because this guy is 6'6". He's like, I think now he's 317 pounds. The last time I checked, 317 pounds. I don't know if anything has changed in terms of him trying to. Yeah, he has to lose some weight. He has to lose some weight. He has to
Yep.
keep in shape. And I wouldn't
Yep.
want to be around a guy who can't be on the court. That makes no sense. So, like with Philly, they see where with Embiid, I guess they had conversation. He just with Embiid, it wasn't much about his. There's some aspect about his weight and stuff, but I guess that conversation where he was committed to staying in shape, and then it worked out for them. It worked out for them, whereby for most of the time, Embiid is on the floor, but Zion, you don't know, like, and his game is dependent so much. He's not like one of them shooters where he can be in there, pull up and give you like some 22 feet shot. Like he's a mid range guy, like a DeRozan are them kind of guy. So you don't put not much pressure on your knee. He's a guy dominant in the paint.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So you
Yes,
see,
sir.
that jump on that pressure on the knee. Trust me, he's gonna need to lose some of that weight because his game is so much like a bull. Yeah, if you notice when you because he's efficient, so because he lives and he thrives in the paint.
Yep.
Okay, you have to be fit where you can put pressure on that knee and your weight and everything.
Yep.
I don't know if I was the GM in New Orleans, I'll be looking beyond Zion because unless I have a serious conversation with this man, I say, all right, this is the way to go. Are you committed to doing so? And
Yeah.
then when is rookie contract up?
Think he has 2 more years?
2 more years. So I'll just watch it. I'll just watch it because that would be like give him another year. I'll watch and see. And then if I don't see any much commitment, I'll look into build beyond him.
Because I think they were saying Zion will be one of the first persons not to sign the rookie extension. But when you get a rookie, the team that draft you, you get a good piece of food for that
Yeah.
extension. But the GM has to be careful because these are the kind of decisions that gets you fired. Because you can say Bop and you can Lego Zion and then you
Mm-hmm.
Lego Zion. Yes, Diva, I know you'd have missed it, man, but I'm glad you're here because we're going to go back to it. So I'm glad you are here. But hey, anyway, this is the kind of thing, Devin, that gets a GM fired
Oh,
because should they let go Zion and then Zion go thrive elsewhere?
you're out of a
Should
job.
they keep Zion and he's on the books,
Yeah.
right? He's on the books, but then
Nothing
he's
going on.
not
No production.
producing, then you're in trouble same way. So these are where these things feel to me like a gut feeling, like just a gut feeling to say, should we keep him or should we not keep him? So this is something that is really, 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 I don't know. Me as a GM, I'm cutting my ties with Zion. I have
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram, I have Josh Hart. See them Lego Lonzo, then Lonzo go Chicago gonna start it up. So I just I would try and build around Brandon Ingram and just still really let go of Zion. All right. So this is New York time. New York stand up, right? So Albert is saying the man eating one full size pizza the size of New Hampshire. Yeah. I agree, Albert. That man just seems to be eating out of control. But let us talk about Kemba, right? Since
Mm.
remember, Thibodeau was forced to put Kemba in the starting lineup because of all of the COVID protocols that was going
Mm-hmm.
on. This person was out, that person was out. And he has put in Kemba, and Kemba 29 and 6, 21 and 8, 44 and 9. And then just this past game against Atlanta, he had a triple double. So
Triple double.
that's 2-2, 2 wins, 2 losses. And what conversation do you have with Kemba if you are the coach? If you are the coach, what do you say to a seasoned veteran like Kemba as to why he was on the bench and look how he has come and look at his numbers has been impressive.
All right. Like in this case, is what conversation I'll be having with the coach because I'll be telling me like I definitely deserve to be starting. I'm from a Kemba's point of view, and I'll tell the coach straight out. I think I should be starting. Now, from
Yeah.
Thibault's perspective, now he probably can tell him, so okay, look, I need more defensive play from you. So that's why I make the decision to start somebody else over you. But like Kems, I wasn't in agreement with it to bench Kemba from day one. I understand the argument me, but like I still think that Kemba can really contribute more, and it's just for you to know how to use him. A lot of players in the league, Steph is not
Yep.
one of the greatest defensive players. Other person at the guard are not great at defending, but then other players there can back up, and the coach has to know how to use them to make the team successful. Now, you bench Kemba, and even though this guy coming like there's a guy named Grimes, something like that. He's playing good, make some good threes. Like some of the guys, even before this game when he was forced to start him, Kemba was coming off at the bench at the expense of like some no-name players.
Mm-hmm.
I never agree with it from day one. From when they were saying, "Oh, he gave them a better defensive team," because it wasn't trans. It wasn't. I remember Robbie Rich was here and saying, whatever the decision was, it still wasn't leading to wins. It wasn't leading to wins. So I don't know if it had made any form of sense.
All right. Here is Rush Cadillac saying, just like what Nick's coach did to Randall, either you get it together or leave.
Mm.
Uh Rush, I'm not really sure I I agree with that. Right? I'm not really sure I agree with that because again, this is an 82 game season. I don't expect you to be on farm all 82 games, right? So I'm looking at the law of averages. Do I stand a better chance with Kemba as my starting PG to win, or do I stand a better chance with D Rose or Alec Burke or Burks or all of those players? And definitely would have to be Kemba. Obviously, Kemba had a little stretch where he wasn't shooting the ball well, but as I say, it's a make or miss league. Yes,
Kems, hold
Lebron.
on a second, Kems. I think Rash comment is in reference to Zion because it seems
Oh,
like
you.
he's a little bit lagging behind.
Okay, okay. He's probably talking about Zion. Okay. Oh, all right. Because I was like, I just, for Kimba within himself, I just definitely, I'm happy for him, but I'm figuring that this will be Kimba last year in New York at Madison Square Garden, because as a basketball player, as a veteran, I think those things hit on the ego. You on the bench, you see some people where you're way better than
What do you mean, man?
getting your minutes,
Of
and
course.
because and remember, every time they call Kemba in a press conference, it's not about his game because he's not playing. So they're asking, hey, how do you feel? And I remember one time he said, well, there's a lot of young guys here who look up to me. So, I'm just here being professional. Welcome, Gary. How you doing, boss?
Yeah, man. Bless up.
Gary,
Good, good.
before I even have to pick a bone with your boss. I look,
Oh,
I look, I look at the amount of subscribers, and I don't
mm-hmm.
see none of your church party people subscribe. The big Christmas just passed. You had the family dinner, so enjoying full in your belly. I don't see none of them in the subscribe section either. What's going on, boss?
Kems, we work on the subscribers. God know. You know, so we know we work on the subscribers. My brother and my sister-in-law talked to them last night, so supposed to subscribe to the stuff.
All right,
But
so let us not talk to them, Gary. Let us just take their phone and just get it done. That's all we need, you know. They don't even let's just take their phone and subscribe to the thing, man.
We'll work on it,
All
man.
right?
We'll work on it.
And if them love you as them brother and them brother-in-law and all them things, them supposed to want to watch you perform and see what you're talking about, if you're talking sense or nonsense. You understand? All right.
Yeah, man. That's all right.
All right, but what we're talking about, Gary, is that we're talking about Kemba. You know, we're talking about his last 4 games, right?
Yeah.
I know the last 4 games he has been on an absolute tear. They're 2-2, obviously win 2, lose 2. But I was saying that, you know, I think this is Kemba's last year in New York, because I think he's just going to, you know, get up and just leave, because I believe his ego took a big hit. I believe his pride was challenged. And, you know, as a person, as a seasoned veteran in this league, I think what Tom Thibodeau did was, you know, I know he's trying to win basketball games, and as a coach, it's not your job to care about people's feelings, but I just think he went about it wrong.
True.
So my question.
He came back last night.
I think you're a little bit. I think you're a little bit delayed, but go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, man. I was saying that he came back in the lineup the last game. I think he played very well. He had a triple-double. I think he had 30-some points. I remember the exact stat line.
He had 10, 12, and 11, I think.
Oh, 10. Yeah. But he had a triple-double, I remember. And I think they won. Played exceptionally well. I know that Thibodeau is a defensive-minded coach. And him being on the bench, I know he sacrifices when he's on the court defensively. But I think the Knicks, you know, their problem, even though they have defensive struggles with him on the field or on the court, I think it, you know, Julius Randle has taken a back step this season. The Knicks basically are in shambles because I don't think they have a good the team, the structure of the team and the lineup. Don't really have the guys that really can push this team, you know, deep into the playoffs. Randle is basically a one-dimensional player. He's weak on his right side. If you notice, most of the time they force him to his left because I think he's left-handed. So they kind of know his strengths and his weaknesses. So I think they need more than just the pieces that they have to really to push the East, because as I said, Brooklyn is there. The Bucks aren't going anywhere. Giannis is young. They have a really good team, defending champions. In the grand scheme of things in the East, I don't see the Knicks really doing anything they are probably the 7th or the 8th best team. The 8th best team at best case scenario. So, you know, traditionally we know that the Knicks from Patrick Ewing days, you know, they really hadn't had any big stars or any superstars from the 90s. Traditionally, the franchise, you know, Madison Square Garden is the talk of the town, and you know, it's a mecca of basketball, but they haven't really had anything to write home about. The best thing could have happened is that they landed Durant in the last offseason, but they didn't get him, opted for Brooklyn. So I think they really need that superstar, probably you know, that big name, and then kind of build players around them. But the Knicks franchise overall, they need to get, you know, pieces together, because their problem is really bigger than, you know, these players that they have right now on the team.
All right. Producer, give me the Rush Cadillac. We're not going to talk about insect Celtics. Well, we're not going to talk about Celtics per se, but we're going to talk about someone from the Celtics. And these players, obviously, Jason Tatum was named Eastern Conference Player of the Week. He averaged 31 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and in that, Celtics won 2 games and they lost 1. Since Rush asked, Devin, when we talk about the Celtics, right? Obviously, we know the Celtics, you know, have the brand, the Larry Bird, the Paul Pierce, the Kevin Garnett, you know, but of recent, the Celtics haven't been anything to write home about. Is is this the season where we believe that the Celtics can make some noise?
No, definitely not. They're not gonna make a noise. I think after this season should be the season where they look to say, all right, we're gonna bust up this team as it is, or something like I don't know if Jalen Brown and Tatum can work together. You know what I mean? So is it the case where they need another piece? They have to look because Brad Stevens, he left as a coach. Now he's in the front office, so he has to look to see, all right, what's the best you can get with this team? Because I remember when they were playing good, Tatum was playing good, and they had the guy that went to Charlotte. What's his name again? Rozier, Terry. They reached far in the playoffs.
Terry Rozier,
yeah. Terry, man, Terry Rozier was there, and then they said all three of them couldn't operate. So he went out. He got big money and went to Charlotte. So now, but they still had Tatum and Brown. Marcus Smart is there. I don't know if they need some more inside presence, some different pieces. So with this, Tatum is playing good, but with Celtics overall, I just think they need to get some different pieces or to complement who is there. And I think probably if like either Brown or Tatum, I don't know if they can work together. Because at one point, Marcus Smart was making some talk in the dressing room saying about guys need to play together and they need to, carry their duty. So it seemed as if there was something there within the dressing room. You get what I'm saying? Something. Yeah. We're not close to the team, we don't know, but he was alluding to guys being on the same page. I remember Smart was saying that. And Smart is one of those guys where he's not going to afraid to talk. He's not scared of talking. So I don't know if there's something with it, but they have talent on the team, so they should be performing better.
Yeah. Gary.
Yeah.
You just kind of spoke about it. When we look in the East, we have Brooklyn. These are the teams that I believe better than the Celtics right now. Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Chicago, Philly. These are the four teams I'm saying. Comfortably, I believe these four teams are better than the Celtics, easily. Right? So, do you agree with Devin and say, boy, it's time to either build around Jason Tatum and trade Jalen Brown and all them guys, or build around Jalen Brown and trade Jason Tatum and all them guys?
All right. The Celtics, I think they have some good young talents. Problem in this league, I wouldn't say it's a problem, but you need not just only talent. You need players who are very efficient, and it's all about your superstars or the marquee players on your team. That player that can take you to a title or to a championship. When you call the other teams a while ago, when you look at Brooklyn, Kevin Durant. When you look at Milwaukee, Giannis, right? When you look at Joel Embiid, Philadelphia, there's Joel Embiid. All of these players, when you take all of the top four teams name that you just called, even Chicago, you have DeMar DeRozan, a seasoned veteran. He's not, an elite superstar. They have complementary pieces in Zach LaVine, DeRozan. But when you look at the Celtics, Jalen Brown is there. You have Jason Tatum. Yeah, they are real good young talents. I wouldn't say superstars, but they are stars. But you don't have that player that you can say, all right, this is the man on the team. Because, the Celtics were saying, all right, between him, persons are saying Jalen Brown is the man. Some persons are saying it's Tatum, right? I think either of them believe that they are the man. But I like Jalen Brown. I'm not Jalen Brown. I like Jason Tatum, right? But he is in clutch moments. Sometimes I think he comes up short. They really need to build a team around Jason Tatum, but I think they need another piece. I don't know if they can. There was rumors about a trade some time ago for Jalen Brown. I don't know if they can get. I don't even think the Ben Simmons is a good fit on that team. But they really need more than Jason Tatum as the main star.
here's Albert saying Celtics need a good leader. You can say they need a good leader, which is true, Albert. But I think apart from leader, they need a leader with talent.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who can lead and somebody who's talented. Leading alone, because East is very competitive right now. And here is Rash Kerouac, who is an avid Celtics fan. We need
Yeah,
a
man.
lot more pieces. We need a
Yeah,
lot more pieces to make any noise whatsoever.
but
True,
So
but
true.
but final point on the Celtics now, as it stands, right?
yeah,
Celtics and the fans now. I mean, they should put some pressure on these players. People should be calling out these players because when you have a guy like Tatum and Brown, right, and Marcus Smart is there who's playing good, right,
yeah,
and you look at it and they're like, I think they're like 16 or 17 or they're
yeah.
15 or 17.
No,
I don't know, right?
they're 16 and 17 and ninth in the East right
All
now.
right, and I look at a team like Cleveland. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Cleveland, who last season we see that guy came who had a good season. What is his name? Sexton, right? And that guy is out for this season. That guy is out.
Yes,
Yep.
son.
And Cleveland is like 19 and 12 or 19 and 13 or something like
Yeah,
that. I know they have
19 and
19.
13 and they're
Right,
fifth.
19 and 13, right?
And they're fifth in the East right now. Yes, sir.
Cleveland should compare Cleveland to Boston with those two players. You get what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yep.
No,
I
so
to-
something is there with the Celtics, man. Celtics should be performing better than this, and
yeah.
I agree that they need an upgrade, but as it stands, they should not be like lingering at the bottom right there like that. No,
Yeah, because look, the
That's
Celtics
true.
they got rid of Danny Ainge, and
yeah,
then they put Brad Stevens up there, in those management roles. Got new coach, but it's the same Celtics. Obviously, I just believe that, and this is my thing with teams. I believe that sometimes you have to rebrand. When we hear Celtics, we know hard nosed, tough basketball, right? But obviously, so they try to get players who match that kind of style. The Marcus Smarts, the Al Harfords, those kind of players. And I just believe that now is the time where, they just try and rebrand the whole Celtics brand and just try and get some other players because clearly the job is not being done. So let's just talk about the West now. Carl Anthony Towns, he's now out, due to COVID protocols, but his team went 3-0, averaged 28 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. And obviously, this is a player that I have wanted to replace soft tissue. I want to trade soft tissue to get Towns because as much as them say, oh, Towns is soft on the defensive end, he'll try. He'll put an effort. And on the offensive end, you're getting much more production. So if it's a case where we have to outscore our opponents, then we will. But soft tissue is not even giving that on the offensive end, we'll feel like all right, we have a chance. So Devin, what do you think about Towns?
oh yeah, man. I like Towns. I love Towns as a good. He's a good scorer. He can play inside the paint and he can make the threes. He may be wanting on the defensive end sometimes, but he
Uh-huh.
make he where he doesn't give you on the defense, but sometimes he can be a good rim protector. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Sometimes.
Yep.
But he makes up on the other hand. He gives you the numbers. He gives you the numbers whereby definitely you can, because he will grab you. Sometimes he'll grab you a easy 10 rebound he can be a walking double double. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So great player. I've nothing bad to say about Towns. I like Towns. I would love if Towns would be in Lakers for real, but I don't think Minnesota let him go like that.
Let him go that easy, right?
Yeah,
Hey.
let him go that easy. But yeah, he's a great player. And then the 3 wins, I think it um came against Lakers. It was against Dallas, but Dallas, I didn't think Luka was playing.
No,
But
look,
then
it was out.
if they beat Nuggets with Djokovic, so it was
Yep.
3 relatively good wins. So and then he once he's out, they start losing. So they were
Yep.
even with him. I think they lost to the Jazz, and I think that they played Mavs twice. But even with him in the lineup against Utah, I don't think they would stand a chance against Utah.
All right. And Gary, I know you weren't here at the start of the show, but I made
Yeah.
a proclamation. I am no longer a Lakers fan. I am
What you
now,
about Lakers fan? As a
I am,
LeBron fan, but man, that fan.
well, I know jump ship, and I'm now a Miami Heat
Oh, so
supporter.
you gone? You jump for wagon?
Yeah,
All right, sir.
I'm full on Miami Heat now. So, whenever you're addressing me, you don't address me
So we
with the
can talk.
Lakers.
So the rule about talking about the Lakers now.
You can
That
talk anything you want to talk about
Yeah,
anything
them.
you want.
Yeah.
Right.
can't too pressure him no gear. Cause me for once, like if you live in a particular area, you can jump ship on that team anytime. Cause right
Okay.
now, if
But we
it's
know
like
Sam is a Miami man, it's true and true. So we know why he did support the Lakers. We all know why.
yeah,
We never a
yeah,
Lakers
yeah,
fan.
yeah, man,
No, but
we can't knock him for that. We
yeah,
can't knock him for that. You have a right for
I
that.
understand.
Cause if Missy Nets or Knicks are going anywhere any year, well, my team that.
All right, producer, give me the next one. Give me the next one. All right. So this guy has been in the league for however long now,
Yeah, man.
and he's saying
Yeah, man.
they're asking him if he could help a team. He said, "I could. I definitely could. People haven't seen me since summer, but I'm still sharp." Well, to be honest, I see Joe Johnson on the Celtics. The 40-year-old Joe Johnson. I see another team say they're going to sign Greg Monroe to a 10-day contract. And I see Lakers sign Isaiah Thomas. So,
TG. Yeah.
this guy is a scorer. This guy will dance on you. This guy is very exciting. So he could get a 10-day somewhere, Brooklyn somewhere. Because I remember this, I remember Brooklyn had signed him, and when Brooklyn signed him, he got injured the next game. Must have tear him ACL or something like that. And from that, he hasn't gotten another
Mhm.
chance in. So I just really wanted to just bring this up quickly, just to see which one of you guys probably thought that. I probably think that he stands a chance in getting another look in on the NBA. Because see, Lance Stevenson at the Atlanta
Mhm.
Hawks, So
Mhm.
do you guys think that this guy can get? You're not picking a big analysis. I just wanted to.
Boy, Kim,
Get,
based on what has been happening with the COVID situation, almost all of the superstars, all the players have been affected because COVID is real. So it don't favor or pet and favor anybody. They ran to the latest to be in COVID protocols. And the teams are short and when stars go down or players go down, they need pieces. So people getting signed left, right, and center out of G League, the Chinese league all over the place. So as I mentioned, Joe Johnson was signed recently. This guy, former 6 man of the year. I haven't seen him of late to know what his condition is and how he's playing. But he might can assist a team, getting some points, some key points or some rebounds. And I don't know what impact he can have, but anybody's our numbers in a team will help a team some way. Once he has been professional a professional in the league for so many years, most can help a team, get some needed points.
I just have one sentence, just one statement. If 40-year-old, if 50-year-old Joe Johnson can come back for a 10-day, you can might as well give him a 10. You see?
Yeah.
What they call it, the hardship deal, the 10-day hardship deal. I think that's what they call it now, the 10-day hardship deal. I don't know why they call it hardship deal. It just sounds like some slavery thing to me. But yeah, anybody can get a 10-day.
No more. All right. So Lonzo Ball, another player in COVID protocols, but he has been averaging 1.8 steals per game and 1 block per game, and they said that this has never been done in history. Do you think that earlier we were talking about the Pelicans releasing Zion and so? Do you think that the Pelicans let go of Lonzo too early, Gary?
I believe so. When you look at his development over the last few years, because even when he was at Lakers, his father, basically I think his father, we all know who he is. He talks a lot, I think he puts a huge target on his son's back. All of them puts pressure on them and so forth. But being the the overall, I think it was first overall pick. Second was it? Okay. Coming to the Pelicans, he basically had a lot of pressure on him, right? And his father, as I said, put a lot of pressure on him as well. He was on the Lakers. I think his 3-point shooting since he's been in the league has improved every year, right? Think about by 2 or 3 percentage points from the Pelicans to the Lakers, and now with Chicago. And even the other day, I don't remember who they were playing a few weeks ago. I think it was a month ago. He was just draining trees left, right, and center. I think he had 7 of 9 or 7 of 10 trees. You know what I mean? And he has been really a key piece in the Bulls' success, right? On the defensive and on the offensive end, you know, along being like the third wheel on that team with Zach LaVine, DeRozan, and himself. And they have been really, you know, he has been a revelation. And I think a lot of times when the players come into the league, sometimes they really take time to develop themselves in the game. Because, as I said, we all know that the college, system is not like NBA. The NBA is a professional, sport, and the players that usually come from the college system, they can be the biggest names. They don't necessarily matriculate into the NBA well, because we have seen over the years plenty of number one draft picks coming in the league and they end up being bust, or they don't, go to the right team, or have the right system around them to develop them well. So it is not, it would have served the Pelicans well to, try with him a little bit more, have a little bit more faith. But I think at the time the GM and the management team, they probably had other ideas. But I think they let go of him too early, and we are seeing, him being a revelation now on a key team.
And here's Albert saying, yes, Lonzo has really improved since leaving the Lakers. Absolutely. Even his shot has improved. All the players who leave the Lakers with the specialized training go on to be better players. Unfortunately, that is true as well.
Kems, somebody said something to me that, a matter of fact, it's not somebody. I was watching something, and they were saying almost all of the players that left the Lakers over the last 2 years have improved somewhat on teams. All of the players, including Ball, Caruso, we see them, Kuzma. All of the guys have really stepped up. I don't know if it's the system with the Lakers and how they were playing, but when you look at all of the Lakers players that were there the last season or two, where they are now, they actually improved dramatically. So I don't know if I don't know. But I looked into it and saw it myself that really and truly that has been the case.
Devin.
Yo, with Lonzo is like me, I wouldn't give up on a player until like I've seen like their 5-year growth. I'll give them 5 years. So Lonzo came in 2017. So and then since he left the Lakers, when he was at Pelicans, from a Pelicans perspective, I seen where his shot was improving. He was improving while he was there. So I wouldn't have given up on Lonzo. So I think they were too quick to get him out. And you've seen now where his 3-pointers really coming along, and then it was actually improving while he was there. So it's not like he wasn't improving while he was there. You get what I'm saying? So for them to move him, I wouldn't have moved him at that time, because he was definitely improving while he was there. And he was making good pass to Zion. He was doing a lot while he was there. So now he's in Chicago and he's doing real good. So I wouldn't have let him go that quick, because like I'm saying, he came in 2017. So it has not reached the 5-year market. So if after 5 years you can say, all right, no, I don't want this player. So after 5 years, that's how I feel. You should see some real great, good development. And he has not reached a 5-year market, so I wouldn't have let him go at that time.
But remember, Devin. Remember, they signed LeBron. LeBron came over. Anywhere LeBron going on is championship or boss, No time for any development, no time for none of them kind of things. Because remember, when LeBron went back to Cleveland, they drafted Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins had to get out of town.
Yeah.
Because
but what I'm saying, but when he was in Pelicans, he would have left LeBron. Yeah, so when he was in Pelicans, I've seen where his shot was in, he was working on his shot while he was in Pelicans. Of course, with LeBron is gonna want his championship or bust at this stage of his career. You know? So I wouldn't have let him go if I was in Pelicans, yeah.
All right.
Dev-
And put up the.
yeah,
Go
Devin,
ahead.
to
Go
add to
ahead,
that,
Jerry.
Kim. No, to add to that, Kim. Sometimes I notice it's some of these the franchises, the management structure and the traditionally some of these franchises are not known for keeping and developing and talent. So this is true with the Pelicans. So I didn't expect them to really keep Lonzo
Long
and develop him any long term because their management structure, I don't see them making anything out of players. I know Zion personally has some issues, but they have managed that situation well either. So it's a function of the franchise organization as well.
All right. So the last thing that we're going to talk about is DeMarcus Cousins, right? Remember before DeMarcus Cousins got injured, he was on pace to get that bag, right? He was on pace to get the bag, but then he got tore his ACL, and then he just continued
Yeah.
picking up injuries after that. Now he's the starting center for the Milwaukee Bucks, and this has been his numbers, in his last 3 games. 2 wins and a L. Do we think that we can get back prime DeMarcus Cousins or even 80% of
Sacramento.
DeMarcus Cousins?
No.
no.
I don't see it now. Let me go for it. To be honest, I really don't see it. I remember prime DeMarcus Cousins when you're talking about Sacramento DeMarcus Cousins walking double, 30 and 12, 30 and 18 and that kind of stuff. I don't think we can because that's past his prime, but I think he is still a very good serviceable center. He can hit down the threes. He has a very good outside game. He can bang in the post. And the Bucks, well, I don't necessarily think they really need additional strength on the interior because they're a very tall, long team, in the middle. You have Bobby Portis, Giannis, you know, Lopez, those guys are banging the boards in the middle. So they never saying the rich getting richer. That's what I'm thinking is happening with the the Bucks. But he will, and you have seen it over the last few games. His numbers have been really impressive, helping the Bucks. I know they had some early season injuries, and they weren't the big three. Middleton, Giannis, and also Drew Holiday weren't playing consistently together, and they started out really slow. You see where they're picking up now. I think they're third in the East currently, and they're getting their form right. So to have DeMarcus Cousins now, in the team, at the center and playing so well, it will only improve. They are the team personally with all that is happening in the East. Brooklyn at 21-9, them can be 25-3 with the structure of the team, with what is happening with Kyrie. Harden, he played okay last night, but wasn't really impressed. But the chemistry, I think, of the Bucks team and them having Giannis and the team overall, complete team is they are the team to beat in the East, whether Brooklyn is leading the East or not. But I like how Cousins is playing, and he will assist them going forward in getting the number one seed. Because at the end of the day, I think at the end of the season they will end up with that number one seed over Brooklyn. To be honest.
Yeah, with Cousins, I just love the fact that he's back playing because the injury, like you said, Kems, you were supposed to get the bag, but he's not gonna return to prime time Cousins like when he was in Pelicans, and even when he was there with soft tissue as you call him, AD. But he's good to be. It's good to see him playing and playing good. Like in this Bucks team, I'm looking at it where Bucks having, and they're looking at to say, being a championship contender again. I'm thinking Bucks, they're looking to say, okay, we can win. And then when I see some of the times, it gives Giannis a lot of time to rest because Cousins playing good. You have Lopez in there as another big man. You know, there are a lot of big guys where, trust me, Bucks are gonna be the team to beat in the East.
All right. Here's Albert saying, I don't see him getting back to prime Cousins. He barely played a game with the Lakers. He then went to the basement team and he wasn't great. Good to see him getting a rhythm now. Totally agree. But I personally, I always like DeMarcus Cousins. I like his tenacity, I like his aggressiveness, I like all that. So hopefully, he could definitely, get back. All right. So now we reach that time of the show. A lot of NFL was played yesterday and today. A lot of basketball as well. So I'll give each of you guys 2 minutes to just go ahead and talk about, the Ashes going on as well. So I'll give you guys 2 minutes to go ahead. You can start, Gary. Go ahead and just talk about anything you want to talk about.
All right, anything. All right. All right, we'll touch on the NFL little. I'm in teach. NFL I never talk about a little bit of basketball. All right. So coming down to the wire now, last few regular season games of the NFL. Some games were played yesterday, some games were played today, games going up to Monday night. Teams are shaping up. We already have in the NFC, Green Bay clinching playoff spot. Some teams are fighting for their playoff lives. We see a number of 7-7 teams in the NFC trying to vie for those 3 playoff spots. So at the end of the day, will be some interesting matchups over the next few weeks. I looked at an interesting game in the AFC North. Well, 2 interesting games. The Baltimore Ravens were manhandled by the Bengals today, 41-21. I'm not sure if I think they are 8-7 now after leading the division last 2 weeks. They have lost a couple games and some 2-point conversions. They have lost 4 games by about 3 points or thereabout. So this league is about decisions and making critical key decisions at key moments. And personally, I think John Harbaugh made some blunders in terms of decision making in a few of those games, which really cost them, and they can be out of the playoffs. And looking at Lamar now with a lower leg contusion, the only guy basically has COVID. The division will come down in the next few games. So
I think the division is over. I think the division is over.
Because 9-6 now since it. Yeah, 9-6 since he's now and 8-7. So I think and then Pittsburgh would have lost today to so I think the division will basically go to the Bengals. I don't see Baltimore really has to because being out 8-7, they have 2 more games. They have to win out to have a chance. I know Devin boy last night throw 4 picks. I don't see Cleveland going anywhere. Right now they're dead last in the division. So I think the AFC is shaping up pretty well. To the last few weeks. So it's very interesting to see what is happening. All right. Quickly touching to the basketball. Kems is not a big fan of this player, but I just looked at something and I was really evaluating Steph Curry over the time he has been in the league. I personally think, Kem said there's a lot of sensationalism about him being the greatest shooter and whatever. And I think a lot of emphasis is placed really on the shooting. Yeah, that is his strength, but he does a lot more on the court. And I think maybe at times he's kind of undervalued because this guy has been in the league, I think about from 2009.
What?
Me personally.
Yes,
me personally.
Are you kidding me?
All right, so when we look at it, well, me personally think he's undervalued, right? Right? No, me personally, because what they do, let me be clear, Kems. What they do is emphasize, all right, focus on him as, all right, at the greatest shooter ever, 3-point, specialist. He's a master at shooting the basketball. But what he brings to he's more than just a shooter. Because when I look at what he does, all right, from his career started, right, drafted by the Golden State Warriors, he was the first and ever unanimous MVP. That season, right, he was prolific. I know they went the season before 73-9, and they lost. in the finals. The two finals that KD was there with him, right? One of the finals he could have gotten that MVP. You know, remember people are talking like he stunk it up and wet the bed in those two finals that Kevin Durant got the MVP. Not true, because in the 2017-2018 he was 27.5 points, 6 rebounds per game, and almost 7 assists. In the 2018 finals, when Durant won also the MVP, right? He was 27. No, I gave you the 2017 stats. But Durant was 28.8 points per game. He was 27.5 points per game. I think basically the shot that he made over LeBron, right? That basically nostalgic and everybody, yeah. But he was prolific in that NBA finals as well. So he could have gotten that.
Well, no,
I personally think he could have gotten that finals MVP instead of Durant. The finals before, the 17 finals, KD was 35 points per game in that finals, while Steph Curry was 26.8. But that last finals, I personally think just as efficient, just as spectacular in that finals. But the knock on Steph Curry, knock on Steph Curry, Kems, is his clutchness. And the clutchness is a knock on Steph Curry, you know.
No, Gary.
What?
I was with you for a very long time. Where you see when
you disagree with me?
You lose me when you say he should have won MVP in that last season.
No, he could have. No, I'm saying either way, if he got it in the finals, I wouldn't be upset, because it's not like Durant was overwhelmingly better than him, though.
Yes, KD. Not because the numbers show that they were similar. If you
I watched them, you know.
No, but Gary, if you watch it, you wouldn't say that, because if you watch the games, right, when anytime Cleveland was making a run, KD was the guy who would say, "All right, give me the damn ball, give me the damn ball. Let me show you how it's done. Let me show you who is the man." Not Steph Curry.
KD but remember, you know, he was drawing a lot of attention, you know, because remember, you know, running off, you know much attention Steph draw.
All right, Gary,
because remember, you can't double up. Or if you double up, Steph, you left KD.
Why is this guy coming on now?
All right, so Gary, listen. I'm one of Steph Curry's biggest fans, but to be honest, boss, that was KD. Those two finals were all about KD. You have to just call the truth as it is.
Bro, there was no way on God's green earth Steph would have win the. When I tell you, KD was unstoppable, right? And KD is not even a baller with my light like that. But the man was clearly better than the man was the best basketball player on both teams. The man was unstoppable. Nobody could stop him. Steph wasn't unstoppable. Obviously, you know Steph gonna get his points. But if you play with KD, if you play with Clay, obviously you're gonna get some points. But KD was just absolutely unstoppable. So that's where you lose me. Listen, when you talk about undervalue, let me tell you who is undervalued in this league. CP3 is undervalued. Steph cannot be undervalued. Remember, you know, Steph didn't even make the playoffs last season. He made the playing tournament and he finished third in the MVP race. When have you ever seen a player who not even make the playoffs finish third in the MVP race? It's complete sensationalism.
He was number one, but didn't he win the scoring title last year? Probably that's a factor.
Who cares about that? How valuable?
Yeah, but you know James that is a factor.
No. How valuable can you be to your team if your team don't make the playoffs? Hey, Devin, go ahead with your two.
No, but remember, you know, he was on a tier last year. He didn't have any help. He never have no help last year, none at all, you know, basically, you know. This year, the other players have stepped up, and you see John Poole playing extremely well now and other guys playing, but he never have no help last year.
All right, so my 2 minutes. I mean, I didn't take 2 minutes.
All right, go on, man.
Talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? So coming into it, you know, people were saying who they think gonna make the playoffs. I didn't even give Cleveland a chance to make the playoffs, and they lose. They're good. They lose Sexton, but then this coach, Bickerstaff, you know, with the team, they're 13-6, and I saw something. I just saw it too. The extent before he was like interim staff in Houston and Memphis. Now they give him a contract until 26-27 season. Right, because he's 13-6 without their best player from last season, and the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're ranked like third in defensive efficiency within the league, right? And like as an organization, they have been one of the fortunate organizations to always get like some top picks games. And they have made some bad top picks too, bad picks in the past. I remember Anthony Bennett being one of them, you know, I can't remember from out of my head. But then when they pick this guy, Evan Mobley at number 4. I think they pick him at 4th, and he's averaging like 13.8 and like 8 rebounds. He's been playing good, you know what I mean? And they're 13-6, and nobody expected to see them playing that well. So I want to give a shout out to the coach and the team and the management itself and the entire Cleveland Cavaliers front office. They realize, you know, the coach is doing well, so they give him a extended contract because he came in. He was the interim coach last season, and I think, you know, he was supposed to be extended by the end of the season, but they give him until 26, 27. And finally, what I want to talk about, right? I've seen everybody giving like 10-year contract, giving some people coming out of retirement getting 10-year contract, right? And I'm wondering if why what's his name? LiAngelo Ball. Why they can't give that man a 10-year contract, man? Come on, man. I see people getting 10-year contract left, right, and center. Some 50-year-old, 60-year-old people coming out of retirement. And LiAngelo can't get they can't give him on a 10-year contract, man. I don't think he is that bad where you can't give him a 10. Because during the season, in the summer, he was playing good in the summer league. So they could give him a 10. They could give him a looking for a 10-year contract.
That's it?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. All right. So, first and foremost, obviously, you know, we want to thank all the viewers, everybody that tuned in to the NBA show. You know, very good discussion. Apart from Gary just got me upset about Steph Curry being undervalued. Man.
Undervalued,
And remember the Miami Heat. Remember the Miami Heat.
We can argue same overvalued. We can argue.
Yeah, we can definitely argue say he's overvalued. Right, but we'll do that. We'll do that next week for sure.
Underappreciated. Remember, I don't use the right term.
What? Hey, Gary,
load out.
Gary, don't stop. All right, so
that's how I tell yourself, you.
Definitely, thanks Devin, obviously, for always being here. Big up Gary. Thank you, producer. You know, another great show for us. You know, Gary, remember, we want to subscribe with him, brother. We want to subscribe.
Yeah, man, I work. May I take some people phone? May I take some people phone? All right, that me I forgot though.
Hey, but one thing I wanted to say before I wanted to say, Green Bay Packers now 12-3 in the driver's seat. I see Tom Brady fighting to win the MVP today. They're up 32-6. This man's still in the game, trying to throw touchdowns. This one is absolutely. Hey, this one. I can't call those people goat. Like, if you're 32-6, you're still fighting.
Yeah.
Hey, the one, David, the one that fight to throw a touchdown, you know, brother. The one that fight to throw some more yards, you know. And I'm like, brother, come on, man.
Yeah,
like,
you're sure not incentive you want to get to people, cause like people like
it wasn't even Antonio Brown, the man that tried to some man when after incentive, brother. He just want a touchdown, brother. Because Aaron Rodgers start pick up steam with the MVP, you know.
Yeah. I say my head though.
All right, but you know, thank you guys again for tuning in, and you know, we'll see you guys on next week.
All right, cool.
Yes.